Welcome to We Hear Her. I am Erin Trenbeth Murray.
And I am Jennifer Bean.
We're here today with another amazing woman who's sharing her story and insights to lessons learned.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jennifer Bean, and I'm here today with Karen Rodriguez La Paz with Telemundo. You are the Director of Diversity and Inclusion there. Yes. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, in a nutshell, first of all, thank you.
Yes, we're so happy to be here with you.
Thanks. In a nutshell, what I do is I create a pipeline for Telemundo to recruit on air and behind the camera and staffing talent from many diverse backgrounds. We also engage in creating new and diverse and dynamic programming that tells different stories than the ones that we've told in the past. You know, ones
Fabulous.
that explain the new makeup of who we are, of who Latinos and Hispanics across the United States are today. And then, quite frankly, the last pillar is just our community. So we engage with the community. We really want to get out there and show that Telemundo is here to not only tell the stories, but also make some change happen in terms of social justice and race relations.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for being in our community. And I want to, how long have you lived in Salt Lake City?
Oof. I've been in Utah for 12 years. I've been in Salt Lake for about 10 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is it going getting out into the community here? And are there roadblocks?
I love this question.
Okay.
Listen, let me tell you.
Tell us all about it.
Salt Lake City I have stayed here because Salt Lake City is one of the best places on earth. And I mean that sincerely. Not the mountains are a big draw.
Sure.
And I love the outdoors. That's a big draw.
But what do you love?
But what I love is actually the community. You know, there are so many different places where you go in and it's a hurdle to meet new people, to engage with them, to actually get into action and make some real changes happen for positive change. And here it's like, listen, everyone welcomes you. They embrace you. They want to uplift you. They want to partner with you. They want to collaborate. And they want to make that change with you, which is what I think is probably the most exciting thing about Salt Lake and the most unique thing about Salt Lake. And I don't know that any other place has this going on.
I love hearing that because it was in part a little bit my experience. I moved here 25 years ago from Kansas.
Wow.
But what I found was a lot of similarities, even though I was in a teeny farming town. Everybody here also loved family.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah, they loved having a religion that they could fall into, and they were kind.
Yes.
And those are some tenets that really can keep a person here, especially if you love the backdrop, the mountains, the scenery.
Oh, especially. Yeah, that's like the added bonus. I love that you touched on kindness because that is such a, it's at the core. It sits at the core of the culture and the makeup of who we are as Utahns.
Yeah.
And I consider myself a Utahn. I mean, I moved here from New York City.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I didn't know the leap was that far.
Huge culture shock. And I moved, I didn't move to Salt Lake City right away. I moved to Orem. And I got a sense of, okay, how does the community move? How does it activate? And I got an opportunity to explore a lot of those values.
Okay.
New York City, I did experience a kind and communal New York City, but we do get a rep for being, a little standoffish.
More distant.
Yeah, more distant. So coming here, it was like, wow, what a phenomenal place where everyone's just kind to you. They want to get to know you and they want to, break bread with you.
I love that. And I love that you see that in our community. Earlier, when you were introducing yourself, you also touched on the fact that you want us to know something about the Latina community. Tell us what that is.
Yeah. So
what do you bring to us? What is your creative tapestry that you're weaving here in Utah?
Yes. I think Latinas, first of all, speaking of Telemundo, we actually released a recent report about how Latinas are actually activating and growing businesses and expanding their footprint across their communities in terms of social change. And it was staggering to see, the way in which Latinas are just booming and taking up and creating businesses.
Right.
I thought it was absolutely phenomenal and really empowering. Where that comes into play when it comes to Utah is that we really are, though a small community,
Yeah.
striving to work together to ensure that all women come together and have access to all these different resources. Used to sit on the board of Latinas in Tech, and it was such a powerful experience to sit with other Latinas who, Utah is really big on tech. So Silicon Slopes being amazing here, they really said, we are going to take the charge. We're going to take the baton and we're going to bring women at the forefront of technology. And again, it's such a powerful thing when you're surrounded by women who are not just women, but women from your community that speak your language, that understand your struggles, and then want to push past that and break boundaries.
Yes. And I'm so happy that you found women who succeed, because I hope that you're seeing in the work that we're doing
absolutely
some of those same commitments to be a role model for girls and young women, to come together to understand and see each other as humans, as neighbors, as community members. And I'm so happy that you also bring up your love and your passion for technology. Tell me a little bit about Code and Color.
Yes. So we started, I'll backtrack a little bit. We, in 2000, well, how deep of a story do you want to know?
We got time.
Give you the whole
we got time. Too
Okay.
bad we don't have a glass of wine right now.
Oh, that would be amazing. Can we get another one for like later? That's what we need. So in 2017, I've always had this thought, again, because of where I come from.
Yeah.
I come from a very impoverished town, and access to technology, let alone technology education, was very scarce.
Yeah.
In the Bronx, as of 2018, less than 80% of, or about 80% of the individuals who are going to school, so families with kids, who are in the K through 12 system, did not have access to internet. Internet access was not a thing.
And I bet most Americans would be shocked by that number, that it exists.
Shocked, and even shocked that it's in such a huge place like a New York City.
Like a metropolitan area. You'd think that access wouldn't be an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but access, can be impacted by your economic status and your access to capital. So I experienced that, and moving here, entering the tech force, really trying to grasp how I could offer some opportunities for people to come into the space, come into the state of Utah, learn about what we were doing here, and then, actually get access to the place where they could grow a career in technology and learn a little bit more and gain financial freedom. And so I started thinking, how are we going to do this? I met this wonderful gentleman, which if you haven't, you have to watch the Kindness Diaries.
Oh, I haven't.
You have to watch it.
Okay, good. It's on my list.
I'm on season 2, episode 3, which is The Gift of Purpose. And Discovery Plus, BYU TV, you can catch it in either one.
Okay, good.
But essentially, what happened was this gentleman was traveling from Alaska to Argentina, relying on the kindness of strangers for everything.
Oh my
gosh.
His
food, his gas, his stay, everything.
Everything.
And he arrived in Salt Lake City, asked so many people throughout the day. It's about 5 to 5:30.
Yeah.
And no one has said yes to allowing him to stay in his home. Oh. And he goes, finally someone's like, listen, man, if you're homeless, like, just go where the homeless people get outreach. And I was working out there, and he came up to me, and I said, sure.
He'd been waiting hours for that.
Yeah, he was waiting hours.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was kind of like really sad, because he said, he's like, hey, can I sleep in your house? Would you mind allowing me to stay in your house? And I was like, okay. He's like, listen.
I'm not sure if that was meant for that question.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, otherwise I'm going to have to sleep in my buggy. And it was like 30 degrees. It's like February here.
Oh, no.
And so I'm like, I don't want you to do that. Have you eaten today? Let's get together.
Yeah.
And we go to him and like two of his friends. He's like, I'm an independent filmmaker. Like, can I get your story?
Yeah.
So I'm like, sure. And I take him out to lunch. We talk about our stories. We talk, he asked me about my life and this idea of where I come from and why I care about technology. And my dream and my hope was to create this organization that would connect Black and brown individuals to tech education and job opportunities. And I saw at the time, even before that, I saw when Adobe moved into Utah down in Lehigh. And I said, the moment that Adobe came in, we started to see the boom. Yeah. We started to see all these other companies moving in, all these wonderful combinators and investors willing to invest in the power of minds that existed and the talent that existed here in Utah.
Yeah.
So I said, we need Black and brown people to invest and join the technology space. So I shared that with him, brought him to my house. And
so you let him stay over.
I let him stay over.
Good job.
And he goes, hey, I lied to you. I'm not an independent filmmaker. I actually have a show, and it's on Netflix called The Kindness Diaries. And you now are going to be an episode.
You've passed the test.
You've passed the test. And he said, and when I meet somebody that impacts me in a profound way, and touches my soul, makes me think about life differently, I pour back into them. So at that moment, as you can imagine, I'm like,
anyway,
are you gonna kill me? Like, is this true? You can kind of see it. And he goes, I would like to work with you to help you set up your organization and work with you as you try to navigate, this entire journey of creating this and what it would be like. And he did that. And ever since, we've been able to partner with wonderful individuals like Latinas in Tech and the Utah Black Chamber and Women Tech Council, Silicon Slopes Latino, to be able to create a cohort of individuals who are pushing forward, actually Fairstream, now it used to be called Mentorly, but create a cohort of individuals who want to connect young Black and brown individuals to those tech opportunities and provide them jobs across the Silicon Slopes network. So super long story.
What a great story, though.
That's the story of how Code and Color was birthed.
Oh my gosh, that is a phenomenal story.
Thank you.
I love that. And the name of the episode is
it's
the Kindness
of Purpose.
Gift of Purpose.
Yes. Season 2, episode 3. So you have to watch it. And if you cry like crazy, you know what? Call me, because I am a big crier. I was crying it was so much. And I love hearing when people cry with me, because it makes me feel like I don't have, I tend to tell people, like, I feel like I have a Kim Kardashian crying face, like the meme. So if you cry with me, it's okay, because I don't feel alone.
We're all in it together,
We're all in it together.
So taking a word off of that episode title, purpose.
Yes.
Tell me what your purpose is.
Yeah.
And how you've been called to do it.
I think, this is interesting.
I know, right? I sometimes think, how would I answer the questions I ask?
Yeah. You asked me that, and it makes me think back on when I was 8 years old. They used to run these ads. I bet they probably still run them, but it was about hunger in different parts of Latin America and other continents, and poverty, and how you could contribute to the fold of those individuals and help them. And it was kids like me. Oh man, I told you I'm a crier. Wow.
I know. I was just gonna say. I think I feel it in your throat.
I remember seeing that and asking why that was the case. No child left behind, for all intents and purposes. though the concept may not have worked as great as it was intended to, I really enjoy the phrase of no child left behind, and I love
I
that
do too.
idea
I do.
of investing in our youth and investing in our children and creating opportunities, positive opportunities, and creating an environment where they feel like anything is possible.
Yes.
So I guess in a roundabout way, I think that's what I gravitate towards, and that's what my purpose is.
Yes.
Is to create opportunities so that other people see themselves as, agents of change.
Yeah.
And hey, we should all have opportunity. We should all have um, the chance to be somebody and be recognized for that and be able to make a difference in somebody's life, no matter if you're making it for thousands of people through job creation, or just your neighbor is having a really terrible day and you may have a little bit more resources, and you go and you help them. You say, bring them cookies, or offer to help them with a debt that they have, or whatever.
Yeah. I love that. I love that your purpose was also rooted in an experience you had, and sort of that inner sense to change your circumstances.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about that girl who was 8 years old and faced with incredible challenges.
Yeah.
And what do you think it was, or has been, that created this fire in you to be different, to have this purpose? Do you have a role model? Or
I do. I have three. They're remarkable men. Two of them were or are in our community. Oh man, I have 4 or 5. Like, I have so many. I keep thinking about it.
You're so lucky.
This is what I will say. I shared with you, I come from the Bronx. I come from New York City. I was actually born in Dominican Republic, and I moved to the United States at 10 years old. And we did not have the greatest circumstances, as many immigrants, don't, right?
Yeah.
So when you move to this country, you have to, especially as a child, you have to learn the new culture. You have to learn how to embrace a new space, a new set of people. You have to navigate learning a new language, and sometimes, because you learn a new language faster than your peers or your elders, it gives you a sense of responsibility for managing your house, and assisting and helping your parents in that way. So for me, it was a very difficult experience, because it wasn't the easiest of circumstances. Like, if I had been in the Dominican Republic, probably would have had a comfortable lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I moved here with my family, and, they decided that they were going to stick it out here and make the necessary changes and necessary sacrifices for the generations to come. So my dad moved here in 1997, was alone for a plethora of years, worked at the World Trade Center. So imagine, like, thankfully he's alive today, but that wasn't the luck for a lot of people. But he stuck it out. He said, I still need to battle, and I need to, make a name for myself here, in this country. So he is one of my greatest inspirations, role models. I mean, he went from, quite literally, when you go to the store and there's an ATM machine?
Yeah.
He used to build the ATM machines and put them in the places where, like, sell calling cards. Today, because of his experience, his education, his tenacity, his desire to persevere, he is an executive at Oracle, which Oracle is Oracle, right?
Huge.
And a tech executive at that. So I think, as we think about those folks, like, purpose is where you find it, and it has to be about the people that connect with you on a deep level, that you can visualize yourself being like them.
Yeah, exactly. So I hear in your story that you maybe received some of this fire from your father.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So
He's a killer.
What would you like to leave for the generation behind you? What is the thing that will stoke their fire
I
that they
think
will get from you?
I think I strive and I hope, but I hope that the generation that comes after me can look at me as an example of somebody who wants to just do it to be kind. I come from a group of
Do
people.
the right thing.
Do the right thing. Yeah. There are a lot of this is funny. There are a lot of people, and like there's this big phrase the millennials and Gen Zers use.
Yeah.
Saying like doing it for clout and doing it
I've
for
heard this.
fame and
Yeah.
And that my thing is like I don't want to do it for that, because if you just do something to be self-serving, not only does it come off as disingenuous, but it also it's stealing away from your opportunity, from you're stealing yourself the opportunity to actually feel what it's like to pour back into somebody else. And
That's
pouring
such
into
a
people,
good point.
it is.
That is such an excellent point. Yeah.
Pouring into people will fill your cup.
Yeah.
Even like more than you could have ever imagined.
Right.
Because it sparks this empathy for people. It sparks compassion. It makes you feel good.
Right. And it makes you want to be able to do more.
Yeah. So
right?
like that's what I hope.
Cyclical.
That's what I hope that people take away from this. Like, hey, listen, sure, you can achieve great things and highlight those things.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. Please highlight them. But don't do it to be self-serving. Do something because you're passionate about it and because you really want to show other people that it's the right thing to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks.
joining me today. I've been
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's been exciting to hear your perspective and as you tell your story. I think it's amazing. Any last and final thoughts for the Black and brown girls of Utah? What do they need to hear from you?
Just be yourself.
I love it.
Just
to all girls out there, just be yourself. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking time to hear her. Join our efforts and learn more at womenwhosucceed.org. A big thank you to our sponsor, the Clark and Christine Ivory Foundation.